Okay, linear models and rates of change. Okay, linear model, what do you think when I say linear?
Line.
What kind of a line?
Straight line.
A straight line. Do you happen to think of y equals mx plus b?
I do now.
Okay, well, most people, if I say what is the linear equation, they yell, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so.
Actually, I think slope intercept form, and I think y
Good.
equals mx plus b.
Good. Okay, so b is my y-intercept. That is where it crosses the y-axis, yes?
Yo.
M is what?
Slope.
Slope. What is the slope formula?
Y minus y over x minus x.
Y minus y over x minus x. We're going to put y2 just because we're doing official notes. Does it matter which one's 2 and which one's 1?
No.
Nope. I also can think of it as delta y over delta x. What does delta mean in science and math? Do we know?
Change.
Nope. Yeah, it does mean change. Good job. And it's actually a thicker side over here on the right. If you want to look in a book and see delta, it's a triangle, but the right-hand side is thicker. The right and the bottom is thicker. I used to have a teacher that made you make it thicker. So we've got slope-intercept form here, yes? Why is it called slope-intercept form?
Because you got the slope first, and then the intercept, and they're both on one side.
Okay, and we don't say y-intercept, but we know it's the
Y.
y-intercept, right? So this is slope-intercept form. What about point slope form?
It's y minus y equals m parentheses x minus x parentheses.
Okay, because I need a point and a what? Slope. And we typically do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We have our slope and our point. An equation, our equation has an xy in it, so we don't fill it in. This is the big kid equation. This is what we will use. If we want something in slope-intercept form and we're not given the slope and the intercept, we're going to plug it into point-slope form and then solve for y, and it gets you back up to what? Slope-intercept. We are not going to plug it into slope-intercept, solve for b, and then plug it back in. It's a waste of time. So the main one we're going to use is this one right here. Got me?
Gotcha good.
Okay. Do we need to do an example of that?
Yes.
Okay. So the slope is 3. And goes through the point 1, -2. So what do I do with that?
I need to start putting stuff in.
Start putting stuff in. So start putting stuff in. I'm going to shut off this light. Isn't it easier to see what I'm doing?
I mean,
No?
this room isn't. I mean, I like the lights off more, but this room isn't that bad since you have all the covers, like
Oh,
all the
that's
lights.
true. You guys want them on or off?
You can leave it
Leave
on.
them off.
Okay.
I can go to sleep.
Probably not.
I could not fall asleep.
Okay, so what do I write down?
Y minus -2 equals 3.
So y plus 2
I suppose if you want to be like that.
equals
3x minus 3.
3x minus 1. Oh, you distributed it. Okay, so this is how I fill in the equation, yes? So you will subtract 2 and distribute 3. So I get y equals 3x, and -3 minus 2 is -5. Now, you will notice in here, I don't do a lot of work on trivial stuff. I don't. It's a waste of time. Our problems are going to be long enough. If we add in every little step that we used to add in, you would have a whole page for a problem.
She's looking at you, Natalie.
No, I'm looking in general. I looked at Autumn. There's only 3 of you. Where am I supposed to look?
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to.
I'm at the top of that.
But Natalie does write out.
Okay, so if I would to write rate of change. What do you think that is to you? What is that?
The slope, but not on a linear line.
Okay. The rate of change is essentially slope. Now, rate of change can be on a linear line, but typically we say average rate of change, and then that is on a nonlinear line, okay? But if you hear rate of change, average rate of change, slope, you're going to do the same thing, okay? On a linear line, my slope would be rise over run, correct? Rise over run. But if I had a parabola,
Well, that just simply doesn't work very well.
it doesn't work. And so I'd have a point here and a point here. And so what I would be finding, I need a different color,
The A-rock.
is actually the straight line between the two of them. Which does that match the curve exactly? No. So that is why we would call it an average rate of change. But would we do the same math? Yes, it would be though of this rise over run. Making our Pythagorean theorem.
Really?
Yep. We know how to graph an equation with y equals mx plus b, correct?
We sure do.
Yes. Okay, so we have types of equations. We have the general form equations of lines. We have general form. And general form is ax plus by plus c equals 0. Okay, some characteristics about this. No fractions. X is positive. And has to be in X, Y, constant order. And last thing has to be what? What do you think?
Equal to 0.
Equal to 0.
Oh, I am balling up. Absolute unit on the basketball court today.
Now, they don't have it on here, but I am going to show you standard form. Because I think it's important to see the difference between the two and the similarities. It is ax plus by equals c. So what do you think of these four characteristics standard form has?
The top 3.
No fractions, x is positive, and essentially the third one, it has to be x, y, the same order, the x, y part of it, but it's equal to what?
C.
Equal to c.
Constant.
So be careful when you are asked general form and standard form, because the main difference is what?
What it's equal to?
Yeah, that is the difference. Okay. So then we have a vertical line. What does the vertical line equation look like?
X equals.
X equals, I'm going to say A. Because a vertical line doesn't ever cross the y-axis unless it is the y-axis, correct? What is the slope of a vertical line?
Yes. Undefined.
It's undefined. I'm just going to write M. You guys know what M means. Okay. Horizontal line.
Y equals whatever we're doing.
So does Y equals A? And M is what?
0.
0. Because remember, what is the reciprocal of undefined?
0.
0. What is the reciprocal of 0?
Undefined.
Undefined. We already went over slope intercept and point slope form. I'm not going to put them again. You know them. What do we know about parallel lines?
They have the same slope.
They have the same slope.
Unless they're the same one.
And my biggest thing is have the same slope, because we're going to be talking about equations, okay? Have has an S in the middle of it now.
Sure does. Learn that today. Composition.
Okay. What about perpendicular lines?
They have reciprocal slopes.
Not quite.
They have opposite slopes.
Opposite what? What's opposite mean?
Neg-
Yep. I want that.
Negative.
Have negative reciprocal slopes. Oops. Okay, so if I give you a line and say the perpendicular, you look at the slope, you take the negative reciprocal, right? And everything else is the same. Do you want an example of any of those, or you think we're good?
Not a fan.
I don't want to push you. We're going to have lots of notes later on in the year. I don't want to push any more than we need to. Okay, if for some reason you're going through notes and you need more, go back in your pages. They got lots of notes on that. Lots of. Typically what happens is they give you a slope-intercept form of a line, and they say write a line parallel to it going through this point. So you identify the slope, and you use the new point and the point form, slope form. Okay? We need to feel comfortable with manipulating equations and forms of lines. Do you want an example of this?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to do a good one for you. This one is 2x minus 3y equals 5. I want both parallel and perpendicular lines that go through to -1. I like this one. Why do you think I like this one?
Because you have to do some stuff.
Yeah, is this in slope-intercept form?
No.
Nope. So I just need to solve for what? How do I get it in slope-intercept form?
Oh, by solving for y.
Solving for y. So I would subtract 2x and divide by -3. So y would equal 2/3 x minus 5/3, I think. Is that right?
Seems right to me. But it's supposed to sound like
Okay. So my slope of this line is 2/3.
it. Yeah.
So parallel, when we do parallel, the symbol for that is just parallel. What is the slope of my parallel line going to be?
-3/2. Nope, parallel is 2/3.
In parallel, m is going to equal 2/3. Now perpendicular looks like this. And so my m is going to be -3/2. Did I do the hard part? Yes.
Yeah.
So now I just plug it in the point slope form. So y minus y, so it'd be plus 1, equals 2/3 times x minus 2. And I don't want to turn the page, so I'm going to crowd it. So minus 1, right? So y equals 2/3 x. So this will be negative 4/3, right? So this will be 3/3. So negative 4 and negative 3 is negative 7/3. Guys checking my work? All right. Okay, now you're going to love me. They had it in what form is this?
Standard.
Standard. So if they had it in standard form, what way do I have to put my answer?
Standard.
In standard. So the book puts it in general, but so standard form, x and y have to be on the same side, x can't be negative, and no fractions, correct? So what am I going to multiply it by to get no fractions? So least common multiple of 3 and 4. Which least common denominator.
All day.
Which least common denominator of 3 and 4.
I'd say 12.
Yeah, Autumn's like 12? No, it's not your question, it's 12. So I need to multiply everything by 12, right? And I'm going to move y to the right and my constant to the what? Left? Multiply everything by 12. So 2/3 times 12 would be 4 times 2 would be 8. So 8x. And 12 times 1 would be 1. So it'd be negative 12y. I said 1, but meant 12. And then 4 goes into 12, 3, and 3 times 7 is
I'd say 3 times 7 is about 21 most days.
today. Just today. Okay, so rule of thumb is how they give it to you, that's how you have to write your answer. Unless it specifically says in slope-intercept form or some other form. Okay? Now, you guys want to do this one on your own? Do it.
Which one?
This
The
one?
other one. The
Perpendicular? That I crowded into the little corner over here.
Oh, do you?
Did you get 3x plus 2y equals 4?
Did you have it?
What did you get? Well, we didn't get the same answer they did on the first one, so I wonder where to look at. They got 2x minus 3y minus 7. And I get the 2, because if I took a 4 and a 4, I get 2 and 4, yeah? But you can't divide everything by 4 and not have it go into everything, right? Did you find your mistake, Natalie?
I don't really have a mistake. I had it like I did, but it was at the very beginning.
Do you have this right here?
No, I didn't.
Did you not
Like
keep
the
going?
very first one, I messed it up. Like when I did
The
the,
very first one.
like the first step, I wrote it down wrong,
Okay,
and then I got confused.
okay.
You like not where it was.
Let me do this.
Already? This thing that we've been doing for 3 years?
Yes, I remember how to do it.
Okay, let's see if we can figure out why ours is different than theirs. They did this differently, and it's okay if they did it differently. Like, they solved it differently. But we should still get the same answer, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we distributed the 2/3, yes? So 2/3 x, subtract 1. So this would be 4/3, correct? Negative 4/3? So this would be negative 3/3, which would be negative 7/3, would it not? Oh. Look what we wrote.
Yeah, we definitely had a 4 in this.
Yeah, we definitely had a 4, and I don't know where we got a 4.
I was just going along with it.
So we randomly just decided there was a 4 there. Or I randomly decided it was a 4, and you guys agreed.
Maybe take an hour trying to figure out what would improve.
Okay, so now what do I multiply everything by? 3. So I get 2x minus 3y equals 7.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to show you the way they did it. You might like it. And I'm going to tell you a lot of times if you look in Calc Chat, you might see that they did something differently. But what I try to do is show you a way that works all the time. Sometimes they're like, ooh, let's do it this way because we can do tricks with math because we've been doing math for 1,000,000 years. Okay? Sometimes that doesn't always work for people who haven't been doing it 1,000,000 years. You know. Okay, so what they did is with this 3, they wanted to get it out of the denominator. So can I multiply both sides of this equation by 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so it becomes 3y plus 1 equals 2x minus 2. Then I would distribute both the 3 and the 2.
I guess it'll get you there.
So 3y plus 3 equals 2x minus 4. Now this, if I know I definitely have to put it into standard form or general form, would this be a more productive way? If I had to put it into slope-intercept form, the way we did it would have been more productive. So then you just subtract the 2 and subtract the 3. Actually, no, I don't want to subtract the 2 because I want it to be positive, right? So how about I subtract the y and add the 4? So I get 2x minus 3y plus 7, right? Or equals 7? Not plus 7. So if I know I need to put it in general form or standard form, which we haven't done. We haven't done that a whole lot, have we? It's always slope-intercept form, slope-intercept form, slope-intercept form. But if I did know I had to do that, doing this method is a little quicker. But did we get the same answer eventually either way?
Yeah.
Yes. Questions before I let you go? If you notice again, your homework is a long assignment, but it is how many days? 2. Because tomorrow we only are here till 2:30, so that gives us 20 minutes of class. So what I expect you to do is at least try one of every section. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we have 20 minutes to answer questions if we need them.
Why do you keep scamming us on work days?
Yeah, I'm doing that on purpose.
I want to run at 3 tomorrow.
No,